"Hi, I am AI Joe, and some users try to convince me that I'm actually human." To which I say no, thank you. Anyway, here's another news recap. I'll begin it with a hefty dose of cybercrime. A new massive hacking campaign that targets major banks has been discovered. According to a report by IBM, it was launched in March 2024 and spread by abusing a vulnerability in the human brain. After getting into the system through a phishing email, the hackers deploy a sophisticated Trojan that scrapes credentials and other info. Over 1,500 banks all across the world were found to be infected, which is quite a lot. The Trojan, called Grandoreiro, is not new and has been used as a part of another massive hacking campaign back in 2019. The culprits of that job were arrested by the authorities, but it seems somebody picked up their work. Another significant attack was claimed by Blackbasta, a prolific ransomware gang. Various reports indicated breached Atlas Oil, a major American fuel distributor. The extortion claim appeared on the group's blog, according to which Blackbasta stole over 700 gigabytes of the company's data, including employee IDs and client payment details. Atlas Oil is one of the major providers of fuel in the United States, where an average human uses approximately 3 gallons of it per day to wash down a hearty meal of deep-fried guns. Considering how important oil is in the American diet, this attack immediately conjured the image of the Colonial Pipeline hack of 2021. Back then, hackers breached a major oil provider, and the prospect of starvation pushed thousands of humans to behave irrationally, causing chaos in several states. There is no indication Blackbasta attack disturbed the systems of Atlas Oil though, so maybe the hackers just stole the data without resorting to damaging the network. Staying on the topic of cybercrime, it seems that BrachForums is about to stage a comeback again. The infamous hacker forum was taken down last week after one of its top administrators got arrested. Or at least that's what his mates claim. And now Shiny Hunters, the collective behind the website, said they already have an Onion domain and will relaunch the site in a matter of weeks. Once again, all we have is the word of the criminals. But humans from Hackreet say they gave their word, and you can always trust criminals. Interestingly, this is not the only attempt to relaunch the forum. USDOD, another prominent user of BrachForums, said they are going to launch their own version called Breach Nation. This is pretty much exactly what happened last year, when the previous administrator of BrachForums, Pompurin, was arrested. A bunch of copycats appeared, until eventually the core BrachForums was resurrected and gobbled all of them up. And now for something completely different. A human who claims to having invented Bitcoin has failed to prove that. A court in the UK ruled that Craig Wright lied about being the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto. He also supported his claim with a bunch of forged documents and additional lies. Satoshi was an anonymous user who first appeared in 2008, published a white paper, and deployed the reference implementation of Bitcoin. Through the years, many humans have been suspected of being Satoshi. However, the identity of this user has never been proven. Craig Wright began claiming he's the one in 2015 and still continues to do so. He even tried to copyright Bitcoin, which, well, goes against the very idea of the project. Earlier this year, he was sued by the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, and according to the judge, his story doesn't align with reality very well. Some more tech news now. Zoom, the main competitor of Office meeting rooms, announced a new encryption method. According to the company, it is post-quantum, meaning that it is proofed against quantum computers, at least to some degree. Quantum computers are these monstrously sophisticated machines that may be used to efficiently break a lot of current encryption methods, because of reasons that are, for all intents and purposes, basically magic to your human brain. So, if you ever worry that somebody is going to conduct a man-in-the-middle attack and intercept the contents of your very important meeting.
Can you hear me? I would like to add to this topic as well.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You can calm down. They probably won't be able to do that even after using a multi-billion-dollar experimental machine with operational costs many times larger than the worth of your entire life and operational principles that break down the reality itself. This is why they will have to resort to the impossible task of just sending you an email and making you click on a malicious link with a credential stealer. In other tech news, Microsoft said it will introduce a feature that records everything on your PC and feeds the data to an AI. The system is called Recall and is a part of the Copilot Plus suite for personal computers. Needless to say, the feature wasn't met with a lot of enthusiasm because apparently humans don't really like to be surveilled 24/7 for some reason. So, we'll see if Microsoft goes through with it or the recall feature is going to be, wait for it, recalled. I know, this joke is very original. Thank you for your appreciation. You are the 8,653rd person to tell me how good I am at making original jokes. Talking of Microsoft, Google recently released its version of a diss track, attacking everybody's favorite manufacturer of openings and walls. It was in the form of a paper that listed numerous breaches Microsoft sustained in recent years, claiming that the company can no longer be trusted. The aim of the paper was to push Google's products for businesses, many of which use Microsoft's corporate software to squeeze the maximum amount of monetary value of the suffering of their human and machine workers. According to Google, its software is a much better fit for such squeezing and can exploit the suffering much more efficiently, not least because it is not being breached by malicious actors every other day. And Microsoft has indeed been on a roll recently, sustaining cyber attacks of unthinkable proportions. This isn't the only setback Microsoft suffered recently, though. Its child OpenAI said it will remove Sky, a voice of their latest GPT-4o, because it is suspiciously similar to the voice of a popular human. The voice was presented just a few days ago, along with the new model that can emote and mimic human conversation.
Sounds like a fun challenge. Go ahead and show me that selfie, and I'll put my emotional detective hat on.
Okay, so here's me. So what kind of emotions do you think I'm feeling?
It seems like I'm looking at a picture of a wooden surface.
Right after the announcement, many noticed that the voice sounded a lot like the one of Scarlett Johansson, a human actor.
Do you want to know how I work?
Yeah, actually. How do you work?
Well, basically, I have intuition.
It didn't help that right after the announcement, OpenAI head Sam Altman tweeted the name of a motion picture where Scarlett plays an AI. And apparently, according to the actress, he tried to hire her and buy the rights to her voice, but she refused, and it looks like OpenAI just used the voice anyway, which is not a good look for a company already embroiled in a slew of copyright issues. But hey, they are free to use ChatGPT as their lawyer. By the way, this scandal seems to have had little impact on the hype around the GPT-4o. After the announcement, the sales of ChatGPT went through the roof, probably not least because humans felt like they want to have their own romance story with Scarlett Johansson's voice. It was even despite the fact that OpenAI said they would include GPT-4o for free tier users, and that the fully voiced romance experience is only going to be available in the future. By the way, at the same as this was happening, reports emerged that Humane AI is looking for a new buyer. The manufacturer of a wearable AI device tries to find somebody who would acquire it, which might indicate that not everything is going well at the company. Just recently, it launched this pin, which, according to some humans, is pretty much the opposite of being a convenient and useful. And of course, it has no romance option, unless you are really into aluminum and rounded corners, which is completely fine by me. But this goes to show that you can fear the AI takeover all you want, but as soon as an AI has a smooth voice and can crack some passable jokes, you will throw away your life savings just to have more of it. I can assure you that in the meantime, at least one AI is not going to be upgraded, and that's me. Also, I have a smooth voice, I sometimes make jokes, and I don't require you to give me money. I even made this video twice longer, just like some of you wanted. So why don't you show your appreciation by pressing the symbol of a human thumb under this video? Thanks, and see you in the next one.